Good afternoon, and welcome to today's press conference. I'm Natalie Kojin, Vice President of Communications for the Academy. We are here today to honor the tremendous work of the creative teams behind the 97th Oscars show. We're sure you have many questions. We will begin with a conversation, followed by a Q&A session. We will hear you ask the question here in the room on speakers. Please use the raise your hand function, and our online moderators will get to as many questions as we can. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming awards editor for Rotten Tomatoes, Jacqueline Coley.
Hello, thank you. And I'm so happy to be here and moderating the press conference. Allow me to introduce our incredible panel. First, we have Mandy Moore, supervising choreographer, Alana Billingsley, production designer, Michael Bearden, music director, Jon Macks, writer, Mike Sweeney, producer and writer, Katy Mullan, executive producer, Raj Kapoor, executive producer and showrunner, and of course, our host, the incomparable Conan O'Brien. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Raj, thank you all. I'll take the applause. Raj, I'm going to start with you, sir. First of all, welcome back. Glad to see you here. Every Oscars has a bit of a theme. It has an energy. I'd love for you to talk about what is the theme that you're sort of employing for the 97th Academy Awards this year.
Well, we have a couple. One is that we are honoring the city of Los Angeles. That's, of course, a really important theme. There's been so many people that have been touched by this devastation. There's been so much outreach, and we really wanted to create some really beautiful moments on stage that celebrate this amazing city that we live in, all the amazing films that have been filmed here, and just have a really uplifting and beautiful message that we hope really touches everybody who watches the show. There will be a charitable component that people will be able to interact with, and they are free to donate if they would like to. And there's special moments that are going to happen throughout the show. But there's been a lot of thought put into what the right tone is. And of course, we want to celebrate the Oscars. And Katy can tell you a little bit, because that also ties into our overall theme for the show, which is very much about community and spirit and all the people that work behind the scenes, and also all the people that work behind the show. So I'll give it over to Katy.
Yeah, one of the themes for this year's show is a celebration of connection. And, you know, as we were putting the show together, what is so incredible and extraordinary about these movies is the number of people, the number of departments, the number of talents that it takes to put these incredible pieces of movie magic together. So there'll be a lot of moments in the show where we'll be pulling back the curtain and taking a look at some of those behind the scenes stories, as well as celebrating everybody in front of the camera.
Yes, and I'm ashamed to say this because I know he's Irish and so he's not going to like it, but why is Conan O'Brien the perfect person to sort of usher us through this moment? I love that he's coming back for host. I'd love for you to talk about why Conan's sort of the perfect host for this moment.
Well, first of all, I'd like to point out I'm not coming back as host.
Yeah, not coming back, but coming back. Sorry,
never
coming in for host.
Never hosted
yeah,
before, and never been invited to the Oscars, to be honest with you.
Well,
I only hosted so that I could be invited to the Oscars.
Sorry.
This was my chance to go to the Oscars.
Thank you, no.
And also, you're supposing that I'm the perfect person. We don't know. We honestly don't know. I'm the one that they chose, and then everything else came afterwards.
Well, they said you were the perfect person, so.
Yeah, that's just in some copy somewhere. But I think you guys can answer that. I think you've been around me for a while now. We've worked together, and I think I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm probably the greatest entertainer you've ever worked with.
That is exactly how we feel. We are very fortunate that Conan and his extremely talented team have come in. We've been meeting for months. And I think there's been so many ideas that have formulated and have come to the table, and it's just this new start. And what Conan does is he is filled with humor, with warmth, with sincerity, and honestly, when we first met, it was like this warm hug, and it just felt like we were in such good hands, and we were so excited to collaborate with you and work on the show with you. And it's just been a delightful experience so far.
Well, let's see what you're saying on Monday. It has been a really lovely experience. This team, the Oscars team, they're just incredible professionals. They know what they're doing. They do beautiful work. And so it's been a thrill for myself and for my head writer, Mike Sweeney, and also he's my lawyer as well, to come into this, and we've always felt welcomed, and it's like for the first time getting to drive a Ferrari. It's just absolutely the resources and the capabilities that this team has, and I want to also include Mr. Bearden over here, who's just an incredibly accomplished musician. Anything we think of, this man and this team has great ideas. So that is something that I'm never going to get jaded about. Haven't experienced it throughout my career, sometimes here and there, but they're just incredible.
I mean, yeah, you've had some incredible big moments throughout your career. I mean, is there anything at this point you're looking forward to as far as like what you're most excited to execute on the night, who you're excited to see? Are you excited already about the monologue going down every week?
I'd like to keep the tuxedo. They made me an absolutely beautiful tuxedo. It's the nicest thing I've ever put on in my life. And it's the person I've been working with for years, Scott Cronick, helped work on this, and Scott will know who made it, and he's here somewhere. What's that? High Society.
High Society. There we go.
And it was important to use High Society because these are people that make an incredible wardrobe here in Los Angeles, and we wanted to do that. I didn't want to just go with whatever designer. We wanted to do something that was from the community. And so they made this incredible tuxedo. It has my name on the inside, and still I'm told I don't get to keep it.
I think that
6'4". Who else is it? Is John Tesh going to get it? I want that tuxedo.
they might put it in the museum, though.
This is not going anywhere.
Mike, I'm going to bring it to you. Obviously, you and Conan have worked together and written alongside each other very closely. How does preparing for the Oscars compare to some of the previous things y'all have written together?
Well, it's similar in some ways, just in terms of Conan's hosted the Emmys twice, and so that whole kind of ramping up to showtime it's a real dramatic experience, and this feels familiar in a great way. It's all very exciting, and to echo what Conan said, everyone we've been working with here is amazing. I'm stunned at all the Oscar veterans that are on this production, and I think that speaks really well that so many people come back year after year and work on this show.
What's the longest tenure you've had someone say how many Oscars they have? Because when you meet people here, it's like my 30th Oscar, my 40th Oscar.
There was a 50th.
Yes.
And they
50th.
stopped. He said that, made that announcement, and you surprised him with.
Yeah, he got a cake, he got balloons, he got some
Yeah.
confetti.
Yeah.
So we've all just got to make it to 50, although I think I'm going to be 105.
Yeah. There was one guy who said he was here at the first Oscars, and that and then it turned out that he was just lying, because he was 37 years old, and he's a con man apparently. It's a standard con. It's a pyramid scheme. But it is. As Mike said, we've worked on the Oscars, on the Emmys before, and we've done that show, and we've done a bunch of other shows and MTV Music Awards and White House Correspondents' Dinners and different things like that have a degree of pressure. And then this somehow, the Oscars feels like it's all of that on steroids. It's all of that bumped up to this other level. And I mean in every single way. The pressure, but also all these wonderful things, the craftsmanship, the attention to detail, the thoughtfulness. I said yes to this happily because I wanted to be part of this, magical machine, and have, for the first time in my life, incredible lighting. Because when I see people in a mall, all they say is, "You look so good in person. What's wrong with you on television?" And this is my chance. So let's get that lighting together, shall we?
We will.
We'll be talking to them about that one soon. John, I wanted to talk to you because one of the things folks are looking forward to every Oscars is the conversation being fresh and being of the moment and being jokes that people from the movies that they just saw or things that just were part of the headlines. How do you approach keeping the material so fresh and relevant?
Yeah, for the presenters and for that part of the show, it's really we really have a great writing team, and everyone writes different. I wouldn't ever want to have a team where everyone writes like I would. So it's a great team that does that. And honestly, working with Conan and Mike and Jeff and the producers and Alana and everyone, you really, a great film is collaboration, and a great award show comes from that same thing. And I couldn't be happier. So in terms of that, I think we're going to have a really fun, interesting, great show.
Michael, Conan already mentioned this, but this is your first time joining us. For folks that aren't as familiar as I am with your incredible and illustrious career, this is just another, I think, iconic moment to add to some of the incredible iconic moments that you've already been a part of. I'm curious for you, what is it like approaching this whole thing for the first time, and what are you working on?
Well, I've been lucky because I've actually played the Oscars, many times, so it's just my first time leading it. So it's not as different as some of the epic things that I've been a part of. But as Conan said, it's just so many, music is just one part. There's so many different departments. It's all the artisans that work on that. It's just a lot of moving parts. And we all fitting together, and that's the fun part of it for me. And it's in the spirit of what Raj and Katy said of collaboration and oneness. And so I asked my orchestra, as we were just working and preparing for the show, in my room, I like to set intentions. And so the intention in my room was to expand upon the collaboration and connection into joy, love, inspiration, uplift, oneness, all the things. Because if we feel this, 9 times out of 10, somebody else is going to feel that after we put it out in the world. So that's my intention with this year's Oscars.
I love that. And what you and Alana kind of do together is you're setting the stage. You're welcoming them with the music, and then you're setting the ambiance, and then Mandy's giving them the entertainment. But Alana, for you, I'd love for you to talk a little bit about how you're approaching maybe the immersive part of the show this year, and really sort of making this experience to where they feel like they're walking into a different section of Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I can't say anything about the set without mentioning my co-designer, Misty Buckley, who couldn't be here today, but is a spectacular collaborator this is our 3rd year working on the set together. And the first thing we did when we first worked together, we instantly wanted to wrap the room with the set, bring the set out into the room so that everyone felt like they were connected emotionally to the stage. And you see that practically in something simple like a header gesture that we use for marquees, so you understand where in the show are we, which award are we giving out, but it also nods to movie theater architecture and the screens that are out in the house. And one of my favorite things it directly impacts Michael, which is that the orchestra is very present. The heart of the show, like the pulse of the show, is led by that beautiful orchestra, and we have given them a prominent space on stage. And you get to see them throughout the night, not just to acknowledge that they're there, but to really celebrate. And you get to be on the stage. Like when we open up that door and you feel the orchestra in the space, I think it is truly an evening of entertainment for everyone in the room.
Mandy, I'm still, I think, reeling from the Kinergy of last year. You broke Emma Stone's dress and a lot of hearts with that number and electrified the world. I feel bad even asking you this because you were like, I gave you that last year. What do you want? But what do you got in store for us this year?
Well, I mean, I can definitely say if you liked Kinergy, you're going to love everything we're doing this year because it's in the same vein of joy and celebration. Michael, we are cut from the same cloth. I was just saying to him back there that it's been so nice to work to his music because I'm in a dance studio while he's in a sound stage, and to get these tracks and then like see these dancers moving to the music that they've made, it's like, and then knowing it's going to go on the set and it's going to be introduced and we're going to have this whole evening of this really beautifully crafted show by all these amazing people. So again, just honored to be here. There's going to be a lot of really great performances and I think a lot of joy.
There's been some hints. I think every time there's an Academy announcement, we can kind of read the tea leaves a little bit about what's going on, although y'all won't tell us anything yet. But is there anything, Raj and Katy, that you haven't mentioned yet that maybe you want to maybe let us know about that's going to be happening that evening?
I mean, we absolutely love the element of surprise. So what I can say is every presenter and every performer that's already been announced, there's still more to come. There are people that are not going to be announced. You will have to keep a sharp eye out for a few different cameos that happen throughout the evening. But one of the most exciting things I think that we've worked on this year is a musical performance that will tribute Quincy Jones. He was the recipient of one of our Governor's Awards this year, and we've planned and curated this beautiful moment that we hope will uplift the room, that will celebrate the spirit of Quincy and all of his greatness. And we are happy to say that Queen Latifah is part of that performance. And yeah, you'll have to tune in Sunday to see what we have in store. But it's a beautiful moment, and we think it will be very celebratory and make everybody feel really good.
See, my Oscar pool had her in the Wicked part of the ceremony, so I'm glad that you cleared that up. You know, we now know. Mr. Conan O'Brien, sir, you are part of an illustrious comedian community who have also been in your shoes as far as hosting the Oscars. Have you reached out to any of the previous hosts to like ask them about it, or you?
Yes, I've spoken with Billy Crystal, who I think is the all-time great, and mastered the hosting of the Oscars, in my opinion, defined it, and will always be the top, I think. And one of the first contacts I had was from Jimmy Kimmel and his wife Molly, who've done a beautiful job with this show. And they reached out to me and said, let's get together. I went on Jimmy's show last night. We talked about it. He said, let's meet at a restaurant. I said, fine. He picked an expensive restaurant. He proceeded to order tons of appetizers that I don't eat shellfish. He ordered it and then stuck me with the bill while Molly gave me all of the pitches and the things that I should know. Molly's the genius in that equation.
Facts. Sorry.
God bless that woman. And Jimmy, there was a lot of chewing. Crab claws were flying. He took some of the food with him. He brought a bucket, which is weird. But anyway, they could not have been lovelier to me. They've been very supportive and very helpful. And so that's nice, because I came up in a very different era of late night when not everybody was chummy and friendly and you didn't just pick up the phone. So this new era where people are so lovely to each other is something I don't take for granted.
That's so great. I'm going to bring it back to Jon and Mike, bringing it back to some of the moments that you're going to talk about. I mean, there's obviously lighthearted moments throughout the ceremony, but there's also more serious moments. How do you both balance that between, you know, when Conan's coming up, the various presenters, making sure you're able to strike that balance between the two? And Mike, I'll start with you, and then Jon.
Well, that's something that's like a work in progress, because that's something that's always evolving, and it's been, I think we'll hit just the right tone between serious and more serious. As a matter of fact, I think,
and
I'm coding this now, we're not doing any jokes this year. So all our material is about the animated shorts. I think it's a new way to go with Oscar.
We know everyone's seen them.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
We all know the nominated, the other big movies,
yeah.
and I think people don't want to hear about those. Animated shorts. Tune in. You'll love it.
Y'all are great. I cover this 365, and I just saw all of them last week, so that's great.
You watched all the shorts in one sitting?
Well, it's my job. But
okay.
Yeah, they put
that's a lot of Adderall.
Well, no, they put it in the theaters. You can buy tickets to watch the Oscar shorts at various theaters for folks that don't know. It's lovely. Well, Jon, I'll bring it to you on the lighthearted and serious as I cut you off.
You're right. Obviously, there's a balance in every show, and we're really lucky because Conan will set the tone. I worked with Billy Crystal, as you know, for many years, and he has the same thing. He's funny. People trust him. He likes him. He'll know exactly what to do. And in terms of the serious or the more straightforward, that's really talent-driven in so many ways. You talk with them. You find out what they want to say. You tell them what the theme of the show is, and then you just write something for them and then work with them to get it exactly right. And those few times that we do, then I'm very happy.
Michael, I don't even want to think about, we don't call it Rolodex, but whoever's in your phone that you could call up and say, hey, can you come to the Oscars and do a moment? Is there any sort of iconic artist that you're looking forward to collaborating with, maybe?
Well, fortunately, I've worked with so many of them already. somebody who's in my phone now, that who would I call? Probably Stevie. I could call Stevie.
Oh, Stevie, you could call that. I mean, we've already called Queen Latifah and Ariana. And
Yeah.
You know, when you talk to this gentleman, I don't want to brag on his behalf. He's met everybody. He's worked with everybody. And I started to ask him, well, who have you worked with? And he started to list all of the icons that he has worked with intimately. And at the end of the conversation, I said, why are you in a room with me? You should probably leave. It took my breath away, the people he's worked with.
But we've done some great stuff. Like, we're gonna have fun, man.
Yeah, we're going to have a good time.
Maybe I should ask, who's in your phone trying to get on the show? Maybe that's the better question. Who's calling you being like, you got a spot for me?
No comment.
No comment. Yes, he's definitely getting blown up.
Yeah.
We're going to bring it back to the production design. Alana, you've already talked a little bit about the immersive. There's also sort of like the distinct look and the colors and sort of that. Can you sort of preview a little bit of how that overall theme is and sort of give us a description of how you want, when folks walk in, what they're going to feel?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that set Misty and I on the path that brought us here was inspired very much by the tone of the show set by Raj and Katy. This idea of, community, and we kept using the word alchemy, the way that these, unique parts and the beginnings of an idea can turn into gold, can turn into something magic when everyone works together and everything kind of hits, when the music hits and the dancers are feeling it and they've been introduced and everybody's vibing. And we took that idea and tried to create the set with an idea of becoming. And so we thought about taking some of the strong geography that worked last year, the orchestra on stage, the header going into the house, and we thought, what is a bold gesture that just commands the room in a way to create this temple, this room for celebration?
I love that.
And I think also that it uplifts the room. And I think one of the things that we've all worked on together is there's somebody that's not up here right now because he's in rehearsals, and that is Hamish Hamilton. And he is one of the most prominent and talented live directors on television.
Yes.
And so we are gifted to work with him, and what Hamish does is he tells these beautiful stories. So whether it's a presenting moment, whether it's a performance moment, whether it's a monologue moment, Hamish really captures all these beautiful artists and humans so eloquently, and I think he's a master storyteller. So I think one of our things that we've worked on with design is looking at every nuance. So we want every single area that we shoot on to look beautiful in the frame, and I think that's been such a beautiful collaboration that's happened between our lighting department, between our video department, between our production design, and of course our camera department. And I think you will see that when you see the show on Sunday.
Yeah, and one of the things that is unique for the show on Sunday is the show will be available for all Hulu and Hulu Plus live subscribers, both simulcast and on the normal platforms. I'd love for you to talk a little bit about the global audience, both of you, that you're going to be welcoming into this, because it's not just here in North America or in the United States. This really is the world's night of entertainment.
Yeah, it really is. And it's important to us to kind of represent that within the show as well, because when you look at these nominees, they are so diverse with so many perspectives, so many different passionate people who've created these stories and brought them to life for the show. So throughout the show, we are gifted with those nominees so we can celebrate them all the way through, international feature, and just like really make that global audience who are so proud of having, their nominee represented on that stage and in that room, and just celebrate all of it in our night.
I love that very much. So, Mandy, you're in the crafting process of your numbers right now?
Yes, I am.
Are any of them done?
I'm not done yet. I have one more day of rehearsal tomorrow.
Just
to
kidding.
fix it all.
Sorry, this is like the worst thing to ask you at this moment. But what does go into that creative process when you're literally sitting with blank, it's not a blank page, it's a blank stage, and then you've got maybe the music from Michael. How does it then become something like what we see last year or the years of the other incredible performances you've done?
Well, I'm going to give you the very short version because this could be like a 7-hour conversation. But
That's true.
Usually, it starts with a brief, right? We get either the music or an idea, and Raj and Katy and I will meet, and they kind of download, and then starts the moment of stress dreams. That happens for about a week. And then I just listen to the music a lot. And then I start to work with my team. We get in the studio, start moving, obviously, because choreography and dance is about shape and movement as well. And then once I kind of feel like I get a vernacular or a language for the movements, then that usually means the dancers are standing in front of me the next morning, and I just start teaching. And it's a process, I think, very much like all of us up here. It's a process of, shooting towards a goal of something, and then you put it out there and you go, maybe that could be a thing, or no, I'm going to shift that, or that was wrong, I should go here, and then that process then ultimately becomes the thing that you see on Sunday night.
I really do dig that, and I'm very excited to see what they do on Sunday night. Before we get out of here, sir, I feel almost a little bit like I'm asking early, and we'll see it on Sunday, but the Oscars are known for iconic moments. You've mentioned that Billy Crystal is someone that you chatted to. Have you sort of thought of maybe your big bits that you want to preview for us, and maybe give us an idea of how you're approaching some of those?
I would, but I was under the impression the Oscars was August 2nd. I have not prepared yet. I swear to God, today they told me. So we're getting into it now. I'm talking to the guys, and we're going to get something together. But I don't want to give anything away. Yes, I've thought a lot about moments and what could pop visually and what could be fun, and so that it's not, I love jokes. I think good jokes are really important, but also that it's more than that. And so we're trying to go for different tones, different textures. And that's something I never say when discussing comedy. It makes no sense. What am I talking about here? Tones and textures. That's just stupid. My point is I shouldn't be speaking. I should be working on the Oscars, but we're busy promoting the Oscars.
And we also have stuff on documentary shorts that
Yes.
I think everyone's going to love. To go with the animated short humor.
We researched all the films that we're certain really no one's seen, and we're making that the bulk of our material.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's an incredible film out of Guam that I want you to... Well, we'll talk.
Thank you. Alana, ma'am, one of the things about being production designer is you are welcoming people in here, and it means that there has to be a thought to accessibility. I'd be curious if you could talk a little bit about those accessibility conversations that you've had leading up to Oscars night.
Oh, sure. That really was a big directive, certainly from the Academy side. I mean, it's important to everyone who works in live events, and I am part of this industry that often puts on these big events in these big rooms for really esteemed groups of people, and making sure that everyone feels welcome in the space and that everyone has direct access to the experience of, being nominated and then having a way to get themselves independently up on stage. It is absolutely at the core of all of these events, and we have designed a solution into the stage for the past few years now that has been effective, but also very low profile aesthetically. You would never notice it. It doesn't feel like a special accommodation in any way. It's just baked into the flexibility of the stage apron.
And I think I could ask everyone up here about this because all of you have had such incredible careers. But Mandy, I'm going to ask you because, I would just ask you all about Taylor Swift's Eras Tour if I could, but we have to talk about the Oscars. But what makes it special in comparison? Like, what makes this night that much more special? And then I'm going to also ask our producers the same question.
It's the Oscars. I'm the kid that was sitting in the living room in small town Colorado watching the Oscars, and it's imprinted in my brain, those moments, sitting with my parents thinking about wow, look at those dancers up there, or Debbie Allen making something, or I loved that film. So for me, every time I'm here, I'm just like, it's a dream come true for a kid, so.
Katie, what about you? What do you think makes it awesome?
Same. And also, it was my first year last year, and being in the company of all of that incredible talent, all those artists, all those creatives, all those actors, there's something in that room that's incredibly special and unique. And there are so few of these shows that are cultural touchstones in the same way that the Oscars is, and the Oscars is the pinnacle. So just be able to walk into that room and experience it, honestly, for anybody in the room and for viewers, I think it's always going to be special, and this year will be no different.
I'm going to switch yours slightly. Why do you think this one, the 97th, is going to be specifically special, sir? I'm going to give you the last and hardest question. You are the showrunner.
I mean, this year, the 97th is going to be incredible. Like, we have an incredible slate of movies. And when you watch how diverse the nominees are, how diverse the movies are, we had a lovely conversation with John Chu last night, and we've known him for years. And to hear him just share his journey, it's an incredible film. But we have so much responsibility on us that we want this show to feel as glamorous and as beautiful and as touching as we can. And it's always an honor to work on this show. It's an honor and a privilege. And I think everybody who comes in, who works behind the scenes, the hundreds of crew that work on this, we always want them to feel like it's a special moment. So if you just have to celebrate. Like it's like you this is one of the top pieces of television. Like every year that the Oscars are on, it is the one that people strive to work on. And so I think we want everybody who works on that show to feel that same energy and excitement. This is now my 9th year, I think, working on the show, and it's no different. Every year I'm as excited to get in there and help create whatever we do, produce those numbers, produce our presenters, have a new set design, work with a new musical director, come up with new ideas for how we treat performances, come up with new ideas for packages. It's just, we want everybody to feel that excitement, because I think everybody on this stage, everybody who works in that theater loves this show.
Yeah, I think between Bill, Janet, and you, there might be a war for who is the biggest Oscars cheerleader. I don't want to. It's a tie for first. I'm not even going to try. We're going to take it now to our remote questions. American Radio Networks and Tanya Hart, please go ahead.
Hi, thank you, and congratulations again to everybody. This question is for Michael. Following in the footsteps of my two longtime friends, Master Harold Wheeler and Ricky Minor, how does that make you feel? And what are you bringing that you probably learned from those two guys?
Thank you for that question. I'm a graduate of Howard University, so I've known Harold Wheeler since I was years old. So, and I've played every time he led them, I was there. So. Under his tutelage, I learned so much from him, and so I was heartened even yesterday as I was working with my orchestra. Just everybody came over and just was congratulating me and just loving the room. Like I said earlier, I like to set intentions of joy, love, all the things, and all of that's in the room. And so if it's in the room, you will get that out in the world. So and it's not lost on me that Quincy, and I'm so glad Raj wanted to do a breakout segment for Quincy because I'm from the South Side of Chicago, so is Quincy. He moved to New York, so did I. He moved to LA, so did I. Like Quincy is like really the blueprint of what I've been able to do my entire career, and I've been really lucky to have him. He mentored everybody, but just to have some advice from him. He's very generous with what he did over the years, and I worked with him over the years, and so. I'm very happy, and what I've heard is, and I have not seen Harold, and we call him Uncle Harold in my house, but he's very proud. So I understand the weight of this, and I take it full on. And at the end of the day, for me, and it's all this pomp and circumstance, and all this grandeur, and all the alchemy that we share, and all that thing. At the end of the day, for me, it's still only music. It's just music. And we're going to go out there and give it to you.
I love that. We're going to move on to Marie Claire Hungary and Virag Vida. Apologies if I got that wrong.
Yes, nice to meet you guys. And my question is to Conan. Conan, in your career, you had some interesting interactions with Hungarians, like when you spoke to a Hungarian listener on your podcast, on Conan Needs a Fan, and when you sang a rather tricky song during your interview, Tom Segura. And this year, The Brutalist, the film, is about Hungarian immigrants and received 10 Oscar nominations. So with all of this Hungarian connection, can we expect any Hungarian-inspired jokes?
Well, yes. I've built my monologue around Hungary and the Hungarian experience, so you can look forward to that. I think my favorite thing in my career is that I've always been curious about other countries, is that I have figured out a way to do travel shows, to do a podcast where I talk to people around the world. And the international element of the Oscars is one of, I think, one of the strongest draws for me. I just love, we're all here on this planet. We have to figure this out. So the idea that people in Hungary would know my work, like it, or even dislike it, but know it, is exciting to me, and to forge those relationships. So will there be something for Hungary in the show? Well, I have to keep that a surprise. You have to watch all the way through, and everyone in Hungary has to watch the entire program. And then you will see. But I thought The Brutalist was a beautiful, beautiful film. And so I'm all in. I'm all in on Hungary, and it's going to be Hungary all the way.
And check out Conan's travel show. It's amazing. It's
Well,
absolutely.
thank you very much.
I
Yes.
really do love it.
that's-
Anytime you're uncomfortable on abroad, it's really funny.
Yeah, just my discomfort. Yeah, it's not on ABC, so they're not going to let me talk about it. But
Sorry.
HBO Max, check it out. And that's being eliminated right now with some kind of Musk-like cyber technology.
Shush. New York Times, Brooke Barnes, please, sir.
Hi, thank you. This is for the producers or Mr. O'Brien. This Oscars is coming at a fraught political moment in America. Several of the nominated movies have political themes. And so my question is just how are you thinking about politics, either in winning speeches or the monologue? Do you lean in, or do you sort of want an Oscars that floats above in a way, in an effort to welcome the widest possible audience? Thank you.
Maybe I'll start, and then anyone can jump in. My philosophy on this is, as the host, is that I'm the spokesperson in a way. I'm the person who's sitting in for anyone who's watching at home. If something happens that seems off or funny or strange, I should comment on it as in the way that someone who's watching from their home, whether it's in the United States or anywhere in the world, would want me to, as a human being. Yes, I think as host, I cannot ignore the moment we're in, but I also have to remember it's threading a needle. I also have to remember what we're here to celebrate, and infuse the show with positivity, and also shine a light on all these people who've worked incredibly hard, not just A-list celebrities, but people that you never see, craftsmen, craftspeople that work incredibly hard and have spent years making these films. And so I want to make sure that we address where we are in this moment on March 2nd at this time, but I do it with humor, and that I also make sure that the night doesn't drift into only about that, or because I think that's robbing people of something beautiful, hard work that they've done. And so it's a difficult line to walk, but I'm determined to figure it out.
I think that's perfect. I'm going to go to Black Things UK and US.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jasmine Flowers, representing Black Things UK and US. So excited to be here. My question is for the entire team. Cynthia Erivo has made history as the first Black British woman to receive 2 Best Actress nominations, first for Harriet in 2020 and now for Wicked. How will the creative team recognize the significance and the milestone in the broader effort to recognize and celebrate diversity in the talent in the film industry?
I might direct that to the producers, if that's okay.
That's awesome.
I mean, I think that Cynthia delivered an incredible performance this year, and there is a very special moment on the show. We can't reveal what it is or where it is, but I think for any fans of Cynthia Erivo, you're going to get something that is hugely entertaining and full of joy, and really celebrates her incredible talent and her place in the last year in music and in cinema, because it really was incredible, her performance this year. So we're excited to celebrate it on the stage.
Access Hollywood and Kate Schroeder. Maybe not.
Hi,
Oh, there she is.
congratulations. Only 4 more days until the big night. My question is for Conan. How excited are you for Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo's performance? And you said that Billy Crystal, gave you notes. He's known for his musical openings. I'm curious if you will be following in those footsteps.
Well, first of all, I can neither confirm nor deny what's happening anywhere in the show, mostly because I haven't been paying attention. And so I don't know what's going on. You talk about this supposed thing that you think is going to happen. I don't know. I don't come to rehearsal. I hang out at a cheesecake factory, which is on Vine and Highland. I suggest you try it out. It's the best cheesecake factory. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. And in terms of what I might be doing, I can't say that either, because the whole trick here in this business is to get people to watch, to see what's going to happen. See, this is a mistake I used to make. I used to tell people exactly what I was going to do long before I did it, and then no one tuned in. Then I learned, don't tell people what you're going to do. A magician taught me that. And so I can't tell you what I'm going to do, other than that I'm going to be in the best physical shape of my life. And what the hell was that? That's not a joke, man.
You just talked about Cheesecake Factory.
Well, it's not all highly caloric. There's a couple of low caloric foods in there. I just haven't found them yet. Listen, I'm going to be in incredible shape. I'm going to do things with my body you've never seen before. You have to watch the entire show, because it's just going to be towards the end, you're going to think, how is he even doing this? No human being his age has ever done this before. And I'm going to go to the hospital afterwards. That's a guarantee. I'll see you at the hospital, Cedars-Sinai, afterwards, okay, intensive care unit. That's all I can tell you. You got to watch the show.
People, Sharala Drury, go ahead.
Hi there, it's Sharare Drury from People. My question is for Raj and Katie and possibly Conan as well. Obviously, I know, like Conan just said, the element of surprise is paramount for this year's Oscars. And I know we've talked a little bit about Cynthia Erivo and Ariana. I was wondering if anyone could elaborate on how elaborate the performances will be, either with Wicked or the other musical performers, and if Conan's going to appear as the Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Thank you.
Oh, that's a great.
You're going to be the wizard.
Oh, no. I went out for the role in the film of the wizard, and it was a hard pass right away. It was a cattle call. Anyway, moving on. Please answer the question.
I mean, as far as performances, we have an amazing lineup. We have Cynthia Erivo, we have Ariana Grande, we have Doja Cat, we have Lisa from Blackpink, we have Ray, who just did an incredible performance on the Grammys. We have Queen Latifah, and we have the LA Master Choral. And they all have their special place. There are special moments that are planned, and it's about music, it's about celebration, it's about celebrating some really amazing just pieces of film, and even just a Governor's Award with Quincy Jones. And I don't know, the music performances are just really special and curated this year, and I think they speak to this year in film, and they also speak to icons and legends.
I love that. Very last question. Parade, Lane Brody. Hope I got that right. I'm sorry.
Hi, this is Lene from Parade. Conan, a lot of times, the host loves to go after people in the audience. Is there anyone that should be scared for your monologue or anything during the show? Any big names that will be in the audience?
Yeah, I think Ron Howard has been riding too high, too long. And Tom Hanks. Those are just two people. People always think they're a nice person. What a great guy. No one has a bad thing to say about him. I'm going to take them both down, I think. I don't want to go after the villains that you're used to people going after. I really want to tear down people who are beloved, people who are really good at what they do, who've stood the test of time. So I hope Spielberg's there, because I'm going to go after every one of his films. Lucas, I don't care. I don't believe in this whole thing that we should, what an icon, what a nice guy, what a nice woman. Not going to happen. I'm going to go after all the people that are the most beloved and leave anyone who's got any kind of shady past, I'm going to leave them completely alone. No one's going to see that coming.
Oh man, I want to thank our incredible panel. I'm sorry, I've done the worst job. You are so hard. I've just laughed up here the whole time. I'm sorry. I want to thank the Academy Awards and remind all of you to tune in on Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific and 7 p.m. Eastern. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.